Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Is he strong? Don't get me wrong, he's got radioactive blood. He has made a giant web. Here comes the Bandai SH Figuarts. Spider Kumono's Osama Sentai King Ogre. Yes, it's not your favourite wall crawler. It's Spider Kumono's. And his arrival signals the start of another episode of Flicks and Figs. So like Luffy here from One Piece, race on over to the nearest screen and get comfortable as we discuss the latest 6-inch action figure news on Taktak Toys. Taktak Toys, Taktak Toys. 6-inch action figure news for girls and boys. Wealth and fame he's ignored. Action figures news is his reward. Here comes the Taktak Toys. Grab a drink or a snack, plenty of action figure news from Taktak, okay? That's enough with the Spider-Man song improvisation. But do get comfy and grab your favourite beverage, a bit like 1/12 third-party Jackie Chan, or maybe third-party time Jackie Chan as he looks smashed on the sauce. Here, Drunken Master indeed. So you can grab the Mountain Studio 1/12 scale Drunken Kung Fu Fighter action figure. He's available over at 5K Toys and the likeness is fantastic. The closed eyes, head sculpt with the OK gesture hands look like loads of fun for toy photography. These third-party companies do really give us some great characters in action figure form that we might not get otherwise. Jackie Chan has done a film series called Drunken Master, but I'm not sure if this figure is loosely based on that character. Let me know in the comments below. And from Drunken Martial Arts, we go to Living by the Sword and Dying by the Sword from Brutal Realm, General Grimskull. The emissary of death, the champion of war, and commander of the shadows revealed. Quake before death, before might, before the endless night that his presence will surely bring. As always, let's get brutal. And from ancient brutal blades to very futuristic looking ones, Valaverse bring us a look at their Praetorian Wraith. This new exclusive from Valaverse is coming your way, starting this weekend at Shop the Curiosity in Danbury, Connecticut, USA. And next week at IshCon in Durham, North Carolina, USA. This exclusive will also feature a clear Wraith variant limited to just 100 pieces. Any leftover stock will go up on valaverse.com after the shows. Photo credit, Sean Kennery. So I'm not sure if this Praetorian is part of the Crimson Technologies faction in the Action Force universe. I'm sure Bobby will give us a video on the lore and storytelling surrounding the figure. And the look of this Valaverse Praetorian Wraith could fit in with futuristic figures or anime-style figures in your display or toy photography, which is handy because we are going to talk about both next. And as mentioned, the Praetorian Wraith looks very futuristic, and let's go on a futuristic voyage with Hiya Toys and their 1/12 Star Trek Spock. And Spock imparts some knowledge on us here. The purpose is to experience fear. Fear in the face of certain death. To accept that fear and maintain control of oneself and one's crew. This is the quality expected in every Starfleet captain. Well, you don't have to be a Starfleet captain to have Spock in your collection. And he's a very nice looking Spock figure. Hopefully, we won't have to wait until the 23rd century for his release, as Hiya Toys certainly are showing us a lot of figures in 1/12 scale, but we could do with a few more being released. I'm waiting on those Universal Soldier figures, but I've also got my eye on Ghost in the Shell, Contra, and maybe Robocop, Rocky and more from Hiya in 1/12 scale. Come on Hiya, take me higher with my action figure collecting. So Spock here puts the flicks in Flicks and Figs, and Star Trek had an animated series. And let's turn our attention to anime now on that note. And from mentioning animated Star Trek, we go to the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! From the anime Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Marufuji Ryo, who has fought many battles, has been made into a Revoltech character as Hell Kaiser Ryo, who has awakened to his obsession with victory. And being a Revoltech figure, the articulation should be fantastic. Although I know next to nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm unaware if action figures of characters from a card game need to be super articulated, but if they do, there you go! His black coat is sculpted to recreate the sharp shoulder silhouette and wide hem of his coat, just like in the show. The interchangeable face parts also have a grim expression. The foldable dual disc is attached to his left arm, and the wrist gestures are reminiscent of holding the included card or declaring during a duel. And just like Hire Toys Spock, he's available to pre-order at Emporium of Cool, and I'll leave a link in the comments. Sometimes I forget to leave a link, I'll admit, as I'm sometimes making the next episode once I've uploaded an episode, so let me know in the comments if you want any links and I'll add them accordingly. And sticking with anime, here's Luffy from One Piece, who looks like he's been taking yoga classes with Dalsim from Street Fighter, or bombarded with cosmic rays like Mr. Fantastic. This is the Future Island Egghead version of Luffy. Speaking of eggheads and Mr. Fantastic, and Luffy wears his futuristic outfit, you can recreate your favourite scenes from the show. And he is also available to pre-order from Emporium of Cool. Again, the Flicks part of Flicks and Figs. I've watched one episode of One Piece, but it's quite an overwhelming saga to get into with tons of episodes. So have you watched One Piece? Have you got any SH Figures One Piece action figures? Let me know in the comments below. Or if you will be pre-ordering any of the action figures that have been shown in the video so far. And from Luffy from One Piece, who aspires to be the king of the pirates, to the merc with a mouth. Wade Wilson himself, I love the smell of 372,844 pancakes in the morning. Smells like victory. The Kyoto, amazing Yamaguchi. Deadpool there. 2.5 has been upgraded with more hand parts and new accessories, allowing you to enjoy Deadpool's playfulness to the limit. There are 206 bones in the human body, 207 with some of the poses this amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool can get into. So he will available on Emporium of Cool from 12th May, and with mentioning Emporium of Cool, it's time for some shoutouts. And if Deadpool doesn't kill the Marvel Universe, check out Dan Who Reviews for all the latest Marvel Legends reviews, Jay's Toy Collection Hook, Kapow Toys, In Demand, the Wolfpack Toy Review, Mini Plastic Multiverse and Cole's Cave on Instagram, as well as Mikey Moon Boots, Comics and Cocktails, Props and Replicas, Space on the Shelf here on YouTube, and plenty more. And I'll try and get at least some of the regular shout-out links in comments below. I usually start to do that, and then I'm on to the next episode of Flicks and Figs. Welcome to Flicks and Figs. You're joining at a bit of a high point. And from the Merc with a Mouth to the US Assassin. 3 missions, 3 variants, 1 badass hero. Created by Mark Poulton and Mike McMahon. Brought to life in plastic by Riot Press Productions, LLC and Haunted Pizza. US Assassin is locked, loaded and ready for deployment in the AIM&X action figure line. Available in 3 tactical variants to suit any battlefield. Patriot, Red, White and Relentless. The original, Jungle Tiger Camo for those covert missions deep behind enemy lines. Arctic Ops, Cold, Calculated and combat ready in all white winter armor. These figures are fully detailed, fully articulated and fully made for fans of hardcore action and killer design. Campaign launching Joe Fest Weekend. I'm personally a fan of the Jungle Tiger Camo. I guess this will be an interesting Kickstarter to follow in light of rising costs in the action figure community. 1 badass hero to keep an eye out for around Joe Fest 2025. And then, from the US Assassin jumping back to Deadpool, Hobby Genki has put up the Mafex Deadpool for reissue. And Genki means happy, I believe, in Japanese. and we should always enjoy this hobby if we can. And Deadpool recently had a 1/12th model kit from Fonjoy. And if you're more of a DC fan, you can find some joy with the MS General DC dual body Harley Quinn 1/10th scale model kit is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. And I think Deadpool and Harley Quinn could really get along if they met, or possibly try to constantly kill each other. I do like a 1/12th or 1/10th model kit. Those Bandai Star Wars ones were very nice, and we could definitely do with more, especially to complement our action figure collections. It's very relaxing and satisfying building a model kit. Japan has a lot of 1/12th anime-style snail shell female characters in model kit form. So if you like that aspect of the hobby, here's a Harley Quinn you can add to your collection. And in the Suicide Squad films and comics, Harley Quinn and the rest of the Suicide Squad was joined by soldier-turned-hero Rick Flag, and some soldiers as backup in the first movie. And if you want some soldiers to go with your collection, you can pick up the G.I. Joe Classified Retro Card Greenshirt. And thanks to the Full Force Weekly and JB, we get an in-hand look at the Retro Card Greenshirt. Before this, we had just seen a digital render, and your green shirts are going to need a vehicle to ride into battle in, right? Well, if you have missed out on the Vamp, you can pick up the upcoming classified AWE Striker, or another option is the VE03 from Fans Hobby. Again, photos courtesy of the Full Force Weekly. And this is a more classic looking Ore Striker compared to the classified one that's coming. But it's certainly nice to have these options on the horizon. And from G.I. Joe and a real American hero to a Canadian one, Loose Collector gives us a look at the improved articulation scheme, first seen on the Leafield Extreme figures, which will be applied to Captain Canuck as shown here in test shot form. And Loose Collector and Rob Liefeld have announced they will be doing Youngblood figures starting with Shaft, the red costume, Bow and Arrow Hawkeye meets X-Force character, and Die Hard, no Bruce Willis accessories included unfortunately. And as soon as pics of the digital renders become available, he'll share them with you guys. So I reviewed Loose Collector Extreme Cabot and Bloodwolf on my channel. I'll drop a link to those videos in the comments below if you want an idea of what to expect. And feel free to let me know what you will be pre-ordering in the comments below. And feel free to smash that like button, comment and subscribe, and you can become a channel member for even more content if you wish. And I'm beginning to think Rob Liefeld might be a movie fan as well as a Comic One book creator. If he's named his characters Shaft and Die Hard, I can't wait to see some of Rob Liefeld's other comic characters, the originally named RoboCop, Lethal Weapon, Another 48 Hours, and Beverly Hills Cop all join the Youngblood team. Only joking. When I heard that Youngblood had a character named Die Hard, all I could think of was Bruce Willis, and Shaft has nothing to do with Richard Roundtree and Samuel L. Jackson. I have always thought Shaft from Youngblood would make for a great action figure. And if you have Marvel Legends, Cable, Deadpool or any X-Force characters, then these guys will be right at home alongside them in any collection. And Rob Liefeld has had X-Force team up with Spider-Man against the Juggernaut in the early issues of X-Force issue 3-1992 or 1993, something like that. And if you want your Rob Liefeld Loose Collector figures to team up with Spider-Man, one option could be the CT Toys 075 Spider-Man, the first comic Spider-Man from Mafex, now being shown some love by CT Toys. And I personally prefer the 2.0 version with the brighter blue colours. But I've actually personally found the tighter joints on CT Toys to make them durable, so this could be a very durable Spider-Man at a much lower price point. And keeping things in the Spider-Verse, CT Toys are also doing a Spider-Punk. Did he shoot 4 webs at bad guys or 5 webs? Well, to be honest, in all this confusion I forgot myself, so tell me, do you feel lucky, Spider-Punk? Now CT Toys 075. Mafex Spiderman CT Toys version won't be as tall as the Mafex one. I don't know about Spider-Punk, so maybe not so lucky after all. And from Spider-Punk and Marvel, we head on over to another Disney property. Star Wars and the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series 6-inch ISB Tactical Agent is up for pre-order at Target, $24.99. This guy is sort of in between a stormtrooper and an Imperial officer by the looks of him. No time for rebel scum. And Andor is a great series, I'm behind on it, but this certainly looks like some world building in the ranks of the Empire. And from what I saw in Series 1 of Andor, it did show some previously unseen elements of both the Empire and the Rebellion. Much like how Rogue One built upon A New Hope and introduced us to the character of Cassian Andor. And from a galaxy far, far away and a long time ago with Andor, we travel through time with Marvel's Cable, the 1.5 version coming from Amazing Yamaguchi, with a much improved aesthetic and no doubt fantastic articulation. You'll be able to body slide by one professor to your heart's content with this guy. Body slide being how Cable teleports and Professor being the name of his computer technology that allows him to teleport. Professor Body Slide by one. So that's it. If you enjoyed this episode and stuck with me to the end, type live long and prosper in the comments below. Or these aren't the droids you're looking for. And let's see who's a Trekkie and who's a fan of Star Wars. Hopefully the next episode is on the horizon. And until next time, make sure you enjoy those flicks and figs.